is 5:35, and we will start the Parks, Recreation, and Arts Commission. City Clerk, would you now take roll call, please?
Commissioner Soto.
Here.
Commissioner Ward.
Here.
Commissioner Kucharski is absent. Commissioner Cummings.
Here.
Commissioner Barraza. Commissioner Singh is absent. Commissioner Miller, absent. Vice Chair Dolan.
Here.
Chair McCoy.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Commissioner Kucharski just walked in.
Oh.
Thank you. We will now begin the Pledge of Allegiance. Will everyone please stand? Ready? We will start with the approval of the agenda. City Clerk, are there any changes or proposed changes to the agenda?
There are no changes.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
I'll
Thank
second it.
Thank you, Vice Chair Dolan. Thank you, Commissioner Cummings. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. This item is approved. We will now move on to approval of minutes. Are there any changes or proposed changes to the minutes from January 22nd, 2024?
There are no changes.
Is there a motion to, I just got a lot. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. Is there a second?
I can second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Cummings. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no.
Chair, I'm going to abstain. I was not present for that.
Okay. Same thing. So I have two abstains.
Who abstained?
Vice Chair Dolan and Commissioner Barraza,
Okay.
because they were not present.
Okay.
Okay. So does this item pass?
It does.
Yes.
It does, okay. I was just making sure, because that never happened before. We will now move on to subcommittee reports. This item is a discussion item for the commission, and no public comments will be taken related to this item. Does the Cultural Arts Plan Subcommittee have an update it would like to provide to the commission?
Yes. The first item is about the cultural arts plan. It's our understanding that members of the public are requesting printed copies of the cultural arts plan, and I'm not aware if there's any money that was left in the budget for the cultural arts plan, but if so, our committee wanted to recommend that some of those be printed so they could be available to people requesting the paper copy. We also wanted to note that currently there's an open call for panelists to review. Much like we're hoping to get a diverse set of applicants for the Measure P Art grants, we're also hoping to get a diverse set of panelists. So anybody who might be interested in reviewing those art grant applications is encouraged to contact the Fresno Arts Council and apply to be on a panel. The Arts Council has conducted one general grant writing workshop at Fresno City College, and they've had 2 general grant workshops. And the last session is upcoming on Saturday, March 9th from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Woodward Park Library. And they have support and resources available on the Fresno Arts Council website, and they've also been working with community partners to have other informative workshops. The current grant application period is open until 11:59 p.m. on March 25th.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. Does the Parks Master Plan Subcommittee have an update it would like to provide to this commission? No?
This evening, there is no update. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to member reports and comments. As a reminder, this is a time for commission members to report anything they feel important for the public or commission to know, but it's not a time for discussion. Commissioner Barraza, do you have any reports or comments?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to point out that the other day I had the opportunity to run into 2
Commissioner Barraza, can I ask, is your mic on?
Is your mic on?
Is your microphone on?
All right, so
Oh, there you
we
go.
Okay, I'm sorry. I wanted to say that I was very pleased the other day to run into 2 rangers, park rangers, and that they actually, one had the blue uniform and the other one has the khaki or green, or I don't know if it's brown or green, uniform. And I want to thank city staff. I also want to thank the chief of police for being so accommodating and listening to us that we wanted to see something that would look as a park ranger. And I see them more frequently now, which is very good. And the other thing that I also, the more I think of the National Park Service, the more I see the importance of that function at the local level, of informing residents of any information pertaining to the parks or pertaining to just programs of the Parks Department. So I just wanted to say that I'm happy to see progress in that area, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Barraza. Vice Chair Dolan?
I have no report or comment.
Commissioner Cummings?
No reports, thank you.
Commissioner Kuchowski?
Just to kind of tag off of what Commissioner Barraza said, if there was interest in connecting with the national parks, happy to be that connecting point with the Resource Conservation District. We work day to day with the Forest Service. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward?
No updates, thank you.
Commissioner Soto, any updates?
So I'm not actually a part of any subcommittee at the moment that I know of, but if there's any need, I'd be happy to kind of fit in wherever that is. The only update I have is that I was able to attend the meeting, I believe it occurred last Tuesday, January 30th, at Maxi Parks for the community input session. There was a really good turnout. There was a lot of feedback from the community. One thing that I did want to point out so that we can hopefully address it in the upcoming meetings is that there was some concern from the community about the timeliness of the notifications and sort of receiving the information like the day of or the day before, which made it a little bit difficult for folks to participate, or there was concern that it may be a barrier to participation. So I just wanted to share that so that we can hopefully send out those notifications or just make sure that they're sent out in a timely manner for the future meetings. But that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to City Administration and Park Staff reports and comments. Does anyone from the administration have any reports or comments for the commission?
Good evening, Commissioners. No reports for tonight from the administration.
Thank you. Does anyone from the park staff have any reports or comments for the commission?
Chair McCoy, I do. Aaron Aguirre, Parks Director, and I'll apologize. I've got quite a few. It's been a busy 30 days since we last met, but like Commissioner Soto mentioned, January 30th, we had the Maxi Park, the West Fresno Community Center planning meeting. We had about 50 attendees, plus or minus. A very great group, a lot of great conversations. Did hear that, Commissioner Soto, about the flyers, some not received them in a timely manner, so that will be addressed. But again, the four centers, Maxiel Parks, Mariella Brown, Sunset Community Center, and Frank H. Ball. And then the next set of meetings will be site-specific, and those are coming up in April, and those will get out in advance notice. But just to kind of put it out there now, first one will be Frank H. Ball on April 6th, and then the following week will be at Sunset at April 13th. So those will get out to the community. Next, want to highlight tomorrow night, we have our final design meeting for the Senior Activity Center. That'll be at the Senior Outreach Headquarters on 4325 North Blackstone. Starts at 5:30 and runs till 7:30. So invite you all to come out and take a look at the final design of what that building will look like. A lot of great input, and I think you all will be pleased with the final outcome. But do want to thank my team. I don't know if they're not here, but want to, hopefully they're listening, which I'm sure they are. Summer Rooks and Pooja Patel, all their hard work and really with the outreach, we had a number of events, almost 40 outreach events getting to that point, and then these number of events. So thank them for their time away from their families and just the long hours they've been putting in. In addition, since the last meeting, we had the Roding Park, the new sports court community meeting at John Muir Elementary. We had over 20 participants there. Again, that's the northern three courts being converted to sports courts, futsal, basketball, and then pickleball. The following night, we did have one out at Woodward, another great attendance there. One thing I want to highlight, our adaptive recreation program. I know we've had folks here kind of present that program and all the great things we do. We had a Valentine's Day dance, first dance for that community there, and we had over 550 participants come show up at Ted C. Wills. So we did highlight that through social media, but again, just a need for that adaptive recreation that we recognize, and obviously they are coming out and attending our center, so excited to see that. And then I do want to note on February 1st, we took the annual master fee schedule, which this commission did have a recommendation. Council did approve that recommendation. That was the youth fee. What was it? The youth fee. We had the range from 0 to 300. We dropped that to 0 to 150. That range. So that did get adopted by council. And then also, last update. We have another project, the Quigley Park Rehab Project. Some of you may have recalled the Parks Department years ago was seeking Prop 68 money for that. We were unsuccessful. We did do a lot of community outreach. We got to the schematic phase, 30% design phase. In the budget process, we were able to get money in for the design. That did get awarded just a couple weeks ago, so that project will be kicking off Quigley redesign. That'll be reimagined, and we'll consider such amenities as a new rec center, multi-purpose courts, softball, baseball fields, volleyball courts, dog parks, splash pads, soccer fields, shade structures, you name it. We'll go back out to the community for another outreach meeting and then move forward with the complete design of that facility and take it to construction documents. So with that, as I mentioned, a busy month since we last met, but happy to report, and any questions, be happy to answer.
Well, I just want to give a big shout out to the Parks Department for all their hard hours and all the events that have been going on around in the community. And it's good to see the notices active on social media, and that you're going to be sending out flyers in a timely manner to get more residents to weigh in on what's going on in West Fresno. So kudos to you guys. Thank you. All right, we'll now move on to unscheduled communication. Would any member of the public like to speak on any issue within the jurisdiction of this commission? You will have up to 3 minutes. If you would like to make a comment regarding any of the scheduled hearings, comments will be taken when each item is called. I have a card in my hand for Sarah Parks for the hearing. Okay. Anyone else in the public?
We have Lisa Flores online.
Okay.
Go ahead and unmute yourself, Lisa. Lisa?
Hello?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me now. Well, did you miss my introduction?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I just wanted to say hi. Good evening, all. My name is Lisa Flores, Queen of the Dog Park. Roding Park Small Dog Play Group over at Puppy Love will be having our first meetup tomorrow, Wednesday at 10 o'clock. We post on meetup.com, and we would love to see anybody with a small dog or even a big dog out there to our meetup. That's the first thing. Thank you to park staff and the water guys for making sure that our water fountains are now on. Really appreciate that. Third, did you know that the last meeting for the senior center is the same time as the tower specific plan? I'll be going to the tower specific plan, but I do have comments about this new senior center. The pool needs to be closer to the parking lot, and the ADA lift needs to be closer instead of far away in a corner, because someone like me who can't walk that far, it's totally useless. You need to make it compatible with those that that still can walk but can't walk great distances. And I would love to see the pickleball and the bocce ball move to the back of the property and the pool move to the front. And also too, how come the pool's an outdoor pool and not an indoor pool so everybody can use it all year long, like most of our doctors want us to? Just a question. Anyway, well, I thank you very much for your time. Keep doing a great job, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's no one else online.
All right, I will close unscheduled communication and move on to hearings. ID number 24-189, hearing to receive public input on allocations related to Measure P, updates to the Park Master Plan and Cultural Arts Plan, and annual Parks Department budget and capital improvement plans. Would any member of the public like to provide a comment regarding this item? You will have up to 3 minutes for comment.
We have Lisa Flores.
Yeah, it's me again. Okay, here is what I would like to see. I would like to see where is the additional funds and budget for the small dog park at Puppy Love in Rhodey. Currently, we have great trees around us, but where they put our picnic table, we get direct sunlight, and it's really hard for us because when they were in the design, I had requested the small dog side have the trees, and we didn't get that. The big dog side got it, which, you know, I can understand, but we would like to see in this coming year's budget an awning or something to give us some shade. That's all. Thank you.
There's no more online.
Thank you. I will now close public comment. Does any member of the commission have questions or comments regarding this item?
Madam Chair, I have a question and perhaps relates to a little bit to the arts process. I've heard comments in the community about issues having to do with finding fiscal agents or nonprofits that have been involved in the arts process. I don't know why I thought that the requirement was there'd be a nonprofit, but I was told that there's actually a specific preference that they be an arts organization. But I would ask the subcommittee if you have had any information about how that's working. Is it a problem, as I've heard from members of the community, or how are you dealing with that?
Hi. So it's my understanding that the Fresno Arts Council is working to identify arts and culture nonprofit organizations that are qualified to serve as fiscal sponsors and creating a list so they can help facilitate applicants. In my understanding, it's not so much a problem as it is a question, because a lot of individuals who would like to be able to access project-specific grants have to come in through a fiscal sponsor, and so they need to be able to identify and match up with one. So I think anybody who has either an arts and culture nonprofit and wants to serve as a fiscal sponsor or has questions about finding one should contact the Fresno Arts Council to see if they can find more information about who is doing that and help to get connected.
Another comment I heard is that we're generating a lot of interest from places that are outside the city of Fresno. And as you know, the Measure P was approved for residence projects in the city. And I suppose that's going to be part of your process, making sure that the money doesn't go to a different community that is not in the city of Fresno. I don't know if you've heard that type of input or comments, but I've heard that some organizations are being contacted by out-of-town groups that are wanting to apply. So I just thought I'd raise that point.
Right, thank you for raising that. I think that there are, so if you go on the Arts Council website, there is an FAQ available that talks about eligibility and how to establish eligibility and the requirement to be in the city of Fresno to be eligible to apply, and that goes for both the fiscal sponsor and for the projects or organizations that are directly applying as applicants. And it's throughout the grant guidelines around the city requirement within the city, not the county of Fresno, but the city of Fresno. And then it's part of the vetting process, I believe, for seeing of the applicants who is eligible to proceed to be considered for an award.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will now move on to hearing to establish the San Joaquin River Conservancy Parkway Committee, a subcommittee of the Parks, Recreation, and Arts Commission, and define committee rules, responsibilities, and membership. So this committee would be forming to see the implementation of the portion of the Measure P to be allocated to the San Joaquin River Conservancy Parkway. It'll have the same roles as our other subcommittee roles will have, with making sure that it's implementation and reaching out to public and talking to public and bringing that information back to this commission and to the public when we have our meetings. Before we have a discussion among ourselves, I would like to go out to the public. Would any member of the public like to make a comment regarding this item? You will have up to 3 minutes for comment. And I do have Sarah Parks here that would like to comment on this item. Please come up and you will have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, Chair McCoy and Commissioners, for the opportunity to speak about the formation of the San Joaquin River Parkway Subcommittee. My name is Sarah Parks. I'm the Assistant Director of the San Joaquin River Parkway and Conservation Trust, or River Parkway Trust for short, a nonprofit land trust that's been working on the Parkway for 36 years this year. Long history. Our organization is named in Section 7-1506 5E of the ordinance, which states that 18% of the funds available shall be made available for operations and maintenance and projects consistent with the Parkway Master Plan and in coordination with the Conservancy, which is the state agency, and with the River Parkway Trust, our nonprofit organization. The trust, we really have been disappointed that very little of the funding available for the Parkway has been rolled out, especially when we all know that the need for access to green space is so great in our community and access to the river. According to the city's Measure P audit for the year ending June 30th, 2023, only $117,000 of the roughly $909,000 that was available was actually expended, so not very much. And in a workshop that was presented earlier this year, which was an update on Category 5, the city reported that it had expended only $103,000 of the roughly $1.6 million that's currently available. A lot of you are familiar with the River Parkway Trust, but just to mention that we've got extensive experience in managing parkway lands and facilities, including properties that we own and properties that are owned by the state of California. We're ready to step in and help unlock some of the parkway funding. But as was the case with a lot of the arts money prior to this grant process, we're in the same boat as other local organizations, as there's not a mechanism right now for the city to share parkway funds with specific parkway partners, such as the River Parkway Trust. We support the formation of the San Joaquin River Parkway Subcommittee. We would like to ask that the word conservancy be removed from the committee name, as I think it adds confusion about the state's role versus the city's role versus the role of other parkway partners like the River Parkway Trust. And we would also ask that the committee include a representative of the River Parkway Trust, as the organization is a named entity in the ordinance. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have anyone online?
There are no speakers online.
All right, I want to open the floor up to our commissioners to have a discussion.
I know we spoke before this got started. As some of you may know, City Council did pass a resolution at their last meeting, Resolution 2024-040, which basically sets out requirements that subcommittees must be formed by way of resolution. And then there's a template with all these things that have to be filled in. And I know it's on your desk in front of you, and this is the first time that you have seen it. I recently saw it for the first time too. So what I would suggest is the resolution was not put on the agenda, so you can have the discussion tonight, kind of narrow down the specific purpose of the subcommittee, who you might want to serve on it, etc., maybe when the subcommittee will end, and then potentially continue the item to the next meeting so that this resolution can actually be in full form and presented to the commission, so that you can review what you're voting on.
Okay. Me personally, excuse me. Me personally, this is all brand new to the commission. So to have a discussion right now, I think would be, we need to review it first before we discuss it and read it all the way through. I do understand that there's the need for the subcommittee to be formed in order to see the implementation of Category 5 for the San Joaquin Parkway. But again, I want to give us time to read the resolution and be able to have a full discussion at the next park meeting. I do know that we do have a couple of vacancies available, and then we do have some commissioners who are not currently serving on the subcommittee right now. So just to be open and transparent to the public, I think there were some good comments made from Sarah Parks, and we have to take that in consideration when we have a discussion as well. So I will vote to table it until the next meeting.
Madam Chair, after that specific step is taken, I wanted to make a suggestion that if there was a way for us commissioners to have the opportunity to have a visit to the parkway, that area. I mean, I live in Southeast Fresno. I don't know very much about that project, and I would welcome a chance. Like we started when we started our work on the commission, we had visits to parks. It would be nice to visit this site and become more acquainted with how does it function. It's a little bit not confusing, but there is like the state agency that's doing certain things. Then we have the local subway committee, well, not subway, I mean, whatever that name says, parkway. And so I think that a very important component of getting us to become more informed about what happens there is if we would have a tour of the place. I, as a commissioner, would like to do that. I don't know if other commissioners might be interested, but I know that we have limitations because of the Brown Act that we probably have to limit the number of people that would participate. But I wanted to make that suggestion. My apologies, I should have waited for that to be discussed. But before it was continued, I wanted to let you know that I'd like to have a chance to go visit the area.
Thank you, Commissioner Barraza. Before I refer my question to the Parks Department and our city attorney tonight, is there any commissioner on the commission who is not familiar with the San Joaquin Parkway or who has not been out there?
No, I don't think. I have to say, in response to understanding the ordinance and the allocation that's required within the ordinance, for me, it seems logical to make a motion to establish a subcommittee for this purpose.
Yes, I'm not saying that I'm not going to establish it, but I just want to give us time to review the resolution. And then when we come back, we can take in considerations of some public comments that were made tonight to see if we will be able to have someone who's familiar or who works for the Parkway to be able to participate with the subcommittee. So I just want us to be able to have a discussion once we read this, because this is all brand new. We all just got this tonight. So to be able to review it, and then we could be able to come back next meeting and have our full discussion and then form our subcommittee, because then I will add people onto the subcommittee and then also add one of the commissioners to the cultural arts plan subcommittee as well, because there's a vacancy there. So I just want to give everyone, even in the public, if they have this on our Parks Commission website, everyone to be able to review this and have a full understanding. So when we come back next meeting, we'll be able to have a rich discussion.
Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Ward.
Okay, I just want to mention something because this is an item that Scott and I have worked through on the Cultural Arts Committee. But for our understanding to be consistent with the Brown Act, for this to be a committee of an advisory committee of a Brown Act board, the less than quorum number of commissioners are the committee members, and then we work in collaboration with outside organizations to help implement and carry out, but they're not actually committee members. Because if you bring a member of the public onto your committee as a voting member, then it you need to adhere to all the same requirements of the Brown Act where you're posting 48 hours in advance, agendas, and having the limited discussion only to the posted items.
Very understandable, but I was speaking just like how Lilia Chavez was involved with the cultural arts plan. I was speaking of having someone who works at the San Joaquin Conservancy Parkway to be able to work with the subcommittee. So thank you for that, but I do understand.
Madam Chair, what I kind of like to know is who would be who introduced this item? Was it you that brought it up, or who's proposing this?
Does it matter who's proposing it? I think a subcommittee needs to be formed to be able to.
Well, I asked the commissioner to have that question, so.
Yeah,
so
but
I believe it matters.
We put this on the agenda setting, and I received a request from one of the commissioners, and I wanted to add it on there. So if I'm not mistaken, it was you and Commissioner Ward that sent out the email.
Okay, I think what I wanted to suggest is that it says here that what will happen is that the process will define committee roles, responsibilities, and membership. So I feel that, and it's been discussed, the need to have a resolution. I think that all of that is very good because it defines what is it that what is the concept, what's being recommended or suggested by whoever put it on the agenda. That would be my suggestion. That I would feel more comfortable to see something in writing that identifies what is it that we want this subcommittee to do. That's all.
Yeah, so that would be provided to this commission next meeting. After we review this, we could define the roles and have that sent out to the commission when we come back from our meetings when we're doing our agenda setting, if that's possible. You look like you have something you want to say.
No, I was just going to say, next week or next meeting, I'm sorry, postpone it to then will allow the department who works closely in this category to maybe be here to answer any questions you all may have as well. I think tonight the experts in that category are not here, so postponing it allows us to bring them here and have them prepared to answer questions.
I think that would be very helpful.
Yes, it will be. Thank you. So yes.
Thank you. I think just another piece of information that would be helpful is a map, because I know the Conservancy owns property on both sides of the river. Some of it's Madera County, and then I don't know what the city of Fresno in this commission, how much of the Conservancy land would fall within city of Fresno and what doesn't, and then what also falls within what the Parkway Trust is overseeing. And if there are any other ownership acres, I don't know if the Parks Department has that or if that needs to be requested from the Conservancy or what, but happy to help if we can get it maybe available.
Yeah, and I think the Parks Department, while some of that information isn't in our database, the department overseeing this should have their boundaries and any sort of GIS information. I know GIS is a big component of what we do as well as the other departments. So yeah, we can definitely help with that.
Also, before we do a vote to table this until the next Park Commission meeting, is it still available for some of our commissioners who are not familiar with the Parkway to be able to take a tour?
I don't know what their schedule is, but I'm sure we can reach out and help with that.
Okay.
Ms. Parks, is that possible?
Absolutely. Cool. I just wanted to make sure. I did see a hand or two up, and Commissioner Barraza will be one of the people, as well as Commissioner Soto, who's not familiar with the park, to be able to take a tour to get a better understanding.
Right, absolutely. And I think the managing department, too, being there can kind of help talk through some of those differences there.
Thank you so much. So do I have a motion to table this until?
So you made the motion.
Okay.
So now you just need a second.
I thought I had to repeat it again. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Thank you, Vice Chair. City Clerk, can you take roll call, please?
Commissioner Soto?
Yay.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Kucharski?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner Barraza,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Vice Chair Dolan,
Yes.
Chair McCoy.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. All right, I would like to adjourn the meeting as always in the memory of Dr. Francine Naputa, who's greatly missed. The time is 6:11. Thank you all and enjoy the rest of your evening with your families. See you next month.